I am Ross Dolan, guitar player of Electric Citizen.
Nice. I know Electric Citizen since the first album. Was it like a full? Yeah, Satine was a full length album, right?
Yes, it was. Uh-huh.
Really dig your music,
Thank you.
and I wanted to like check up on you. Like what is up since 2018?
Yeah, we've been missing in action for a while, huh? We uh well, COVID, between COVID and our singer got melanoma and had to have surgery to get get her tumor removed, and she's totally fine now. Everything's great. But we had some setbacks, and now we were just working on getting our fourth album done, where it's almost fully mixed. Hopefully, we'll find a good record label to put it out, and it can come out this year, and we can kind of.
So it's going to be not Riding Easy Records. It's going to be somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. Riding Easy Records likes to do like three album deals, and I think they kind of maybe see themselves as more of like a launching pad for bands, versus forever home.
I think Blackwater Hololet is also on Riding Easy Records.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. I also interviewed them. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I didn't know about the three album deal, but so now you like in the process of I mean, you already have demos probably, right? But it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. The whole album four is completely done recorded, and hopefully by Wednesday completely done mixed, and we can move on from there. And
so you mean it's like super fresh? I called you in the right moment.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's like yeah, it's super fresh, and we've been working on it really hard, 12-hour days in the studio.
Which studio? Where?
We recorded this album at a studio called Candyland in Kentucky, which is just right across the bridge from Cincinnati, where we're from. And yeah, it's a great studio. We worked with our friend engineer Mike Montgomery, just a great energy for recording bands, and I think that's really important. And this is the first album for us that we are recording with someone new, because we did our first album, second and third, with the same person, Brian Olive at Mount Saturn Records studio, or maybe it's just Mount. I I can't remember. He may have done something with some records. I can't remember, but anyway, it's been a whole new experience, and we're looking forward to getting it out there and kind of.
So why did you
Um,
choose?
I think myself personally, I had done the last four albums with Brian, because I was in a band right before Electric Citizen, and we did an album with him, and then obviously three more with him, and I think myself and the band, we were just kind of ready for a change of scenery. We just wanted a change, really, and we recorded. We're used to very uh, minimal amount of tracks, and with this album, we were able to just get more tracks to just kind of thicken the songs up, and we've always kind of missed that in the previous albums, of kind of really beefing tracks up when you're just limited on the tracks. So yeah, just switching it up and doing something different.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So you want to completely start fresh, let's say like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So actually, which means that approach is different, probably, right? Anything technically that you're trying to do something else? Still, are we still having organ and the way you do things?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's still the way we do things, but just being able to, if we want to add let's say two acoustic guitar tracks to one song, that's not a big deal. We don't have to try to figure out how to make space, and if there's room, the drums have more than four mics on them. It's just it's been a lot. It's just been more fun to have multiple tracks to just kind of do whatever you want to do. And with this album we have some songs that maybe have more of a progressive rock sound to them, and you want to be able to layer those up so you don't bore people to death with a longer song. So usually in the past, our song, maybe our longest song was like 5 minutes, and there was one of those on an album, and the rest were just like little 3 minute rock songs. And we still got a couple 3 minute songs on the new album, but we also have some longer songs where we're just experimenting, trying to do something a little bit different.
Have you seen Rick Beato, the guy on YouTube?
Oh, I love that guy. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just recently, today or yesterday, released a video regarding the statistics of music industry, right? And one of the trends is that songs are getting longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly, but it was a response to the TikTok influence, right? Because TikTok music is like really short,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and maybe, I mean, it's not, he didn't say it, but I think maybe musicians want to be opposite to that, really show what is real music, spread out, like make the songs a little bit longer, maybe like show the talent, the skills, and just for
Mm-hmm.
because you can, right? Maybe
Yeah.
it's like just going against the mainstream TikTok thing, and that's why somehow you also like wanted to do it. Have you thought about why you wanted to have like that, like
Yeah. We just basically for fun, let's make a little bit longer song. Let's add some more transitions and see if we can, tie it all together in the end so it makes sense. And, I don't think, I know TikTok is a lot of like, shorter videos and things like that, but I think there's a lot of people out there that have a longer, attention span, and they can sit through a 3 hour long podcast and really enjoy it. And I don't necessarily think everyone only needs a 2 minute song. Otherwise, they're just gonna skip over it. It's yeah, TikTok's a strange thing, but people latch onto it. But
well, people latch onto it because labels are paying attention to it. If somebody's hot on TikTok, they get signed, and everybody's looking who gets signed. So that thing, But in reality, it's just the way it is at the moment, but it's not gonna last that long.
yeah, I hope not, because I don't necessarily agree with like going online and looking at a musical person or whatever, and trying to and being like, oh, they got all these, these streams and these views, and I kind of, maybe I'm old school, but I would, if I was looking for a band, I'd want to, of course, listen to their music, but I want to like see them live. Like, how are they performing these songs? Are they executing these songs? Are these songs coming across the way they were intended? There's something plastic about this whole TikTok thing, and TikTok music. I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm just more old
No,
school in that way.
well, I think that this TikTok thing is just first of all, it's for the young people, yes, but young people also
For sure.
get older and they switch to a longer format. I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
thing. It's like a TikTok. It's like the Beatles of apps at the moment. Super hip, super
Yeah.
fun.
Oh,
Like for
big
young
time.
people, like TikTok is like this pop band, right? That gets the attention of all the
Hmm.
teenagers, and of course everybody wants to be this pop band and be part of this like experience. But in reality the
Oh,
pop
absolutely.
band like also gets old, loses all the audience and stuff, and not all the time, but most of the songs of the pop bands, if they're mediocre, you forget about them. Maybe they have one hit and that's it. The most important is doing what you believe in and not trying to go chasing trends. So I'm totally with you on
Oh,
this
of
one.
course. Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you got to music should be for you, the creator first, in my opinion. I don't I play music for me. I write songs for me to just make me happy. This is how I like to spend my free time, We're all different. People spend their free time in different ways, and this just so happens to be the way I like to spend my free time, I like listening to music. I love playing music, and
So tell me more about the album, right? So it's been like the last album was in 2018, right?
yeah,
So we already like know that it's going to be beefier, let's say like this, more.
yeah,
How is the sound? I mean, it's still going to be you, but like if we compare it to the previous album, Helltown or Higher Time, like how is it different?
yeah, yeah. And it is different. Helltown, we were kind of looking at, uh, looking at it as in, just like a more fun album, like light, it's a little bit lighter, short songs. Most songs on it, maybe the exception of one, were like really heavy, fast rocking songs, in the 3 minute or 3.5 minute, close to 4 minute range. And for the fourth album, there's a lot of mellow songs on it, actually. We still have our rock songs, but it's considered maybe the most mellow of all of our albums is the fourth album.
Do you think it's because of the experience of everything that went like in the last 5 years has a
Yeah,
huge
for
influence on
sure.
the thing?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, with writing a lot of maybe half the album was written during like COVID times, or maybe like yeah. So everything was of course like locked down, and it's just not very uplifting of a time period to just write a bunch of fun rock songs. So we kind of and as with everyone during that time period, I think everybody was just kind of like blah. God, I'm tired of being here, and everything's closed down, and I think that definitely shows in this album, and on top of that, we hadn't really written. There's some mellow songs that we have, but there isn't many. I think I think we were able to go down that avenue and not bore people to death with it, throw some dynamics on them so they're not just like dragging the whole time. We have two acoustic songs on this album, which we've never put on. We've never done full acoustic songs on any album. So we have two for this album. So I think this album it'll sound like us because it is us, but this might be the most different of the albums, just due to some acoustic songs and some more mellow, hopefully more easy listening. And like I said, there's also some rock songs on there. So hopefully we've delivered kind of the best of both worlds on this one, where I feel like maybe, especially on the last album, album three, it was kind of like one world, and that was rock world.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'd say
I just
that's
realized,
how it
like
differs.
when you were talking about the experiences, that because of COVID, everybody has the same starting point, right?
Yeah.
So all musicians, artists, right? They had this zero ground to start with, and now, especially after like interviewing people who are coming up with the new music right now, you can see how they are reacting to the stuff that happened to them. For example, like with a heavy tempo, they have a new album, and the it's like full of anger, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like, I just realized that right now we're seeing not only in music but in artist world how people are reacting to everything that's going on in the world, and like
Oh
but
yeah.
definitely I can see that people are trying to write, to show, to play whatever stuff that they really believe in, because they understand that uh, death is around the corner. You
Oh
know,
man.
like the look on
Yeah.
life changed a little bit.
Oh, big time. Yeah, and I don't I and it, for us, I think it was just like taking more of I think a lot of things that are going on in the world today definitely can make you feel angry, but I I feel like we've had enough of kind of powery riffs and mean sounding stuff in the years past that I just really wasn't looking to channel any of that for this particular album. Yes, of course, I'm frustrated with, I mean, just name something. It seems like the world is in chaos right now. But I just didn't want to continue that. So I hope a little bit more of a mellow vibe might be calming or something, for what's going on in today's world, for and our music.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if you feel like this, you don't have to hide it. You have to embrace it.
yeah, yeah.
Especially don't pretend, and because everybody will understand that you are faking it anyway. They will feel it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, people can feel it for
What's
sure.
about the band members? Everybody's like still on board, all good, nothing changed. Because there's like, why I'm asking basic questions, because there was not much information in the last years almost. You didn't give so many interviews.
Yeah,
The freshest interview was actually for the Orange Amplifiers, that you, like a small short video that you did recently.
yeah,
Yeah, just a little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
of explanation of Orange stuff, right? But not much.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. We don't really do too many interviews. Sometimes we'll get asked to do one and then drop the ball on it because we're so busy. A lot of today's musicians, with people not really having to buy your music to listen to it, most most people are working jobs, uh and working long hours, and to make ends meet and hopefully put some money together to go on tour.
And people who are not musicians would be surprised how many successful musicians are actually have to work to have a day job. You know,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
a 85%, 90% probably of all people who you would never expect to have a day job. They have day jobs.
Yeah, yeah. And so in any interview that maybe we've not done or whatever, it's yeah, you just get super busy, and it is what it is. I'm still gonna play music because I love to do it, and I was glad that when you reached out to us that uh you offered up a good time slot, and I was able to do it, which I very much appreciate because I know you guys are 6 or so hours ahead of us. But as far as the band goes, it's still the four of us. We had on our second album, we had a different bass player, and he toured with us, with that on that album cycle. And then our original bass player rejoined the band, so it's still the original lineup. Our keyboard player from the very first album. He left the band maybe like maybe a month or two after the album came out. So we kind of now have a revolving door of touring keyboard players, but we wrote this album with a dear friend of ours named Owen Lee, and this album is the first album we wrote with a keyboard player being there since the first album. So the second and third album, when you hear a keyboard, it was just basically an afterthought, like, oh, here's a good key part.
To polish it a little bit, add some flavor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Fill it out, polish it up, and so this album, I think the keyboard parts are just much better, much more fitting, and it was just an all-around pleasure. You kind of forget how nice it is to have a keyboard player there when you're working on your new material. They can a keyboard, riff or whatever in the right spot can totally make something sound incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's the main four of us.
Have you, when you toured? I think you were touring without the keyboard player, right? Like if it's like a,
We have done that, but in the past, which is probably one of my biggest regrets is not finding a keyboard player to tour with. Um, when we did that, now we haven't gone without a keyboard player. I think since the third album and until now,
Hmm.
we have not done a show without a keyboard player, and we won't do a show unless a keyboard player can be there. It's just become too much a part of the sound, and when we don't have it, it's thin. It's missing a lot of the what would make our songs unique, you know? But yeah, again, you just kind of got to do what you got to do. Not everybody can just pick up and leave for a month and then at the end come home and not make a ton of money. I mean, you make some decent money, but if you're only making money to come home and catch up back on the bills, it's just a lot of people will be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so we feel very grateful for the keyboard players that have joined us in the past several years. So
How was when was the last tour in Europe? It was like last year, no? Or two?
was that last year? I oh
It
man.
was Fu Manchu, I think.
Yeah, it was Fu Manchu. Was that last
I
year?
mean, 1 year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Right,
God, I
yeah.
can't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, you came to Austria some time ago, but I couldn't make it back then, so I kind of missed your gig. So hopefully, like with the new album, you would come to Europe, Austria again. Would be
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. Austria is amazing. Yeah, I would love that, and I'm sure that'll happen. That's always the goal. It's always fun to come over to Europe. We all love
Have
it.
you played the new music that you're going to release on the album, like live at local gigs or something like this? Have you experimented with that? Maybe people already heard your music but didn't know it's new.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we did that even with the Fu Manchu tour. We played two new ones every night that we played with them just to, just because it's been so long since we've played new music and then yeah, when we play home shows, we might do two or three. We don't want to put them all out there just yet, get the album out and then really open them up to people, with like, the day of we're in that time where people can just record you playing them live and then throw them up online. And then it's like not as special when it comes out. So we try not to play, too many. We kind of stick to that two, maybe three new songs when we do play. But I mean, people seem to dig them. So I mean, we'll see. It's not. I mean, I guess I'd be shocked if we played a new song and it ended and everyone booed.
Did it ever
But
happen to you?
no,
No,
thank God.
no,
And I've been
because you're
and I've been
you're
in
not
some.
a shitty band. You're a good band. So I mean, I understand
Oh,
your
thank you.
fear. We all fear that, but
Yeah,
and if you don't fear that, it's something is wrong with you. That's true.
yeah, right.
Right. No, totally get it, man. But no, it would be cool to hear the new music. But that's really cool to know that something is coming up. It's not over yet. That's why I wanted to do interview to check up on you. Because you never know.
Yeah,
And I wanted to encourage
yeah.
you to make the new music in case you're not doing it or kick your ass for that.
Yeah, 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 right,
Because you have a
right,
lot of
right.
fans who
Yeah,
are waiting.
yeah, and yeah, and I very much appreciate everyone who is eager for new music from us. I think we all in the band feel lucky that we're able to, to do any of this, to come to Europe. It's such an honor, and not very many people get to do that. And yeah, I think we're all excited to jump back
I
on.
did an interview with Heavy Tempo, Howling Giant recently, and I was asking Howling Giant how it was for them to tour Europe because they've never done that before. Like the excitement
Hmm.
in their face and eyes, and
Oh,
like
oh
the whole
yeah.
experience is amazing.
Yeah, and Europeans are such like good loyal rock fans too. I mean, America we have them too, but it almost sometimes it feels like rock music is more important to Europeans or something, like
Probably yes. I would say yes, especially like Middle Europe. I mean, pretty much Europe. Yes, I would say heavy
yeah,
metal music
and
and rock, hard rock and rock.
yeah,
That's what I heard from other rock musicians. They
yeah,
feel that in
yeah,
Europe, more appreciated, more dedicated fans, super fans. Um, I don't know why.
very sweet people. The venues, like I always thought this was really cool about Europe is a lot of venues will also have a place that you can stay, you know. So you get done with the gig, and you're not racing around, you know, hopping on the phone and then trying to figure out a hotel and then racing over to the hotel so you can get the bed and like, you know, they give you this wonderful dinner when you show up and there's beers in the fridge and it's just you know, in America, you know, you might be handed two drink tickets and have to fight for money to buy yourself dinner. You know, they're not going to have dinner for you. You know, maybe some venues might, but like most venues are going to try to hand you $10 and tell you there's, you know, a Chipotle within walking
Yeah,
distance, you know.
all bands from North America with whom I spoke said the same thing exactly. You know, and after this, you know, like when you see American musicians, like, okay, you're in a safe space. Come here, like you know,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
Europeans, we're like, okay, you can like totally play music and chill. You know, like we'll take care
yeah.
of you. We understand.
Yeah, yeah, it's wonderful. So I very much appreciate
All
that.
right, so the plans right now is hopefully mixing is done soon, right? You start shopping around
Hmm. Yeah.
labels. Any particular, like maybe like we should like spread the word or something like this. Are you looking for something specific or just nice people with a good contract?
Yeah, I don't really I haven't really gone down that road in my mind yet because you know I'm just trying to get this album done. But yeah, a record label with yeah, that's gonna give you a nice contract that, you know, it'd be nice to, if they had like a long reach, you know, maybe connections, maybe they want to spend a little money on P yeah,
Marketing support, support tour support.
exactly. Exactly. That would be
Booking connections in Europe, Australia.
yes. All of that. So whatever record label that is, if we can land on that, that would be amazing. Those would be the key things. Yes.
Yeah, well, you never know. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but now I'm trying to calculate, okay, if even tomorrow you're gonna get signed by a label, it means that the music will come out only like I don't know, like the fastest 4 months later. The fastest.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And which is why it's like we're trying to really work hard now, you know, just we gotta get this thing done. And it's so close. But yeah, you just now that is one thing I have thought of, you know. Yeah, it's like once it is done, you know, we got still some months to go, you know.
Yeah, and
Um,
production of like merch, vinyl takes time. Planning of
oh
the
yeah.
tour, support tour of the album takes time. Oh, it's so
Oh,
much
big
work,
time.
man.
Oh, it is. And then on top of that, everyone has a job.
And everybody has a
It's
job.
just like it
Yes,
just
yes. All
so
right,
yeah.
man. So,
Uh,
don't want to bother you too much. I wanted to check up on you. Third time I say this. Which song should I put at the end of the interview? A good introduction to the Electric Citizen Band.
Beggars need.